They have their data in the different systems actually. They have their credit card data and debit card data in the different OLTP systems. And they are also into mutual funds. Also they are into insurance. So they have different systems for everything. They all are their source systems where the data is originally generated. These data exist in the different technologies. Some data exist in ERP applications, some data is exist already in the database, some data exist in SQL Server, some data is existing in Teradata, Netezza. Likewise, they have the data in the different OLTP systems. Now they want to integrate all of them and they want to access their data from the centralized repository, that is their data warehouse. So that's what they are doing exactly. In the different layers, they are moving the data into the data warehouse. First of all, they are integrating the data. In a single integration layer. In a single integration layer, whatever the data is available in the source system, they are directly copying. They are not making any changes on the data. It is simply a copy of the production data. There is nothing change in the data. So this is also called persisting staging area, in which they are directly copying production data into this table. Production table data is directly copied into single integration layer. Here also we will have the tables. In the table, the data is tightly moved. From the single integration layer, they are moving the data into the transactional data stores. Here they are going to maintain complete history. My single integration layer may not have the data permanently. It is just a copy of the production data. Here they can purge. Purging means they can have the data for a particular period of time. Let us say 1 week or 1 month. Because the transactions are very huge, they don't want to maintain for a long time. They can simply purge the data upon the period of time. Let us say for 1 month. For 1 month, the data is completely going to remove from the database, from the single integration layer, but not from the TDS. In the TDS, they are going to maintain complete history. There is no overwritten, there is no update. Simply, they are going to insert a new record. They are not going to delete any one of the record from the existing database. This is transactional data stores where they are going to maintain the history. Once they load the data in the TDS layer, they are moving the data into aggregational data stores, in which they are going to maintain the fact tables. We'll discuss what is the fact table, what is the dimension, everything. Here they have the data in the form of measurements. Here we have complete history. If I want, I can get it from the history tables. I want only the measurements. Let us say average count, or what is the total amount that I have collected for this month, what is the total loan amount I have given to the customers, what is the total insurance premiums I have got collected. All this information is going to available in the ADS. For the ADS, data is fed by TDS. To the TDS, data is fed by single integration layer. To the single integration layer, data is fed by the original source system. This is my OLTP systems. From OLTP system, they are moving into single integration layer. Now all the systems are integrated and they are available in one area. If you want to connect in the OLTP system level, this is a different environment and this is my different environment. All are there in the different environments. But now after integrating all of them, I can see all the data, all information from the different systems I can see in single area. Simply they are integrating. Because the data exists in the different areas, I cannot directly generate the report from these areas. It is going to be more complex. That's what I'm bringing together all the data in one particular area. Okay. From ADS, they are going to create a semantic layer. In semantic layer, they are going to create views. Hope everybody understand what is the view. Prashant, Ravi, Navin,
Yeah, yeah.
please respond sometime so that it will not be bored. One time interaction will not have a problem. Please let me know if you have any doubts in these areas. So hope everybody, I think that everybody understand what is the table and what is the view at least. What is the source system and what is the target system also. Please quickly write it on chat window if you understand. Okay, good. Okay, fine. This semantic layer, actually, it is the where they are going to create the views. Actually, in the views, they are presenting the data from the multiple areas. Why I am creating this semantic layer? It's purely for the reporting purpose. Because I have the data, complete history I have, complete measurements I have, but however, I may not require all the data for the reporting purpose. Let us say I want to create a report that contains the customers should be in the black mode. Say for example, customer has used the credit card and he has not paid bill for the particular period of time. Grace period is already given. He already crossed the grace period and he already crossed the maximum time limit threshold he has crossed. So such customers should be immediately blocked. So what to do? Do I need all the data, complete history? There may be 1 crore customers in which maybe only some 10,000 customers must be blocked. So what should I do? Do I require all this data? 1 crore records do I require or only 10,000 records which are should be blocked? So what kind of data I require now? Only 10,000, right? So do you recommend enter into this area and working on the 1 crore records and get that 1,000 records? Simply have a table in which only the blocked customers must be available, not all of them. What I'm trying to say, here I have 1 crore customers. Out of 1 crore customers, only 10,000 customers are bad. They are not paying the bills properly, credit card bills. So to work on the 10,000 customers, do I really require to jump into this table and get the records? It will take time. Of course, you can get the records, but it will take such a long time, right? So instead of that, I'll create another table. In that table, I'll create a logic at the time of extracting and I'll apply transformation rule. The transformation rule work on the it is going to work on the records and it will work on the dates.
Always scan this.
Sorry, somebody speaking.
Nothing. Carry on, Shiva. Sorry.
They have applied a transformation rule. The transformation will take care of the customers. It will take care of the dates. So whoever is crossing that particular period of time, only such customers are filtered out here, and only 10,000 customers I am getting here. From which I am going to generate a report. If I get a report from here, it will take a lot of time. But from here, the report you can easily access. So such reports are generated first, such data is generated first in the semantic layer. They are not going to disturb single integration layer, CDS or ADS. Whatever the data that is required for the reporting purpose, they are going to create in the semantic layer. In many projects, you can see semantic layer. They may use other terminology also, but the basic funda of creating these views are for the reporting purpose. Majority of the people, they call it as a semantic layer. Okay. From the semantic layer, I am going to generate the reports. Out of many reports, I am just giving some examples. It's going to be a daily dashboard. In the daily dashboard, what they are going to create, total how many debit cards are sold today or given to the customers today. Here they are going to maintain the count, or credit card count, or mutual fund, or insurance count. So total number of count they are going to see, because the management, they don't want to involve on each and every record from the lowest granularity. They will simply see the count. What is the total credit cards are given to the customers in India for today, or weekly basis, or quarterly basis. They want to see only the measurement. They want to see only the count, not everything. So they will create a daily dashboard report in which they can see. So likewise, I'll write down the names also. It's going to be a daily dashboard in which they can see all the counts. It is my parent report. From this report, I can also navigate to the child reports. Let us say I want to see the complete information. I just got the count here, credit card count. After clicking on that credit card, I can enter into the another child report in which we have descriptive information about that credit card. If I want to see such information, I can click on the hyperlink so that it will take me into the child report in which we have descriptive data. So likewise, I have total rejected reports. It is one kind of report that makes sure how many records are getting rejected. Maybe because of some issue. Let us say you have not completed your application properly. You are applying for a loan online. You are not. You have not applied correctly, or something else goes wrong. Such records are going to be rejected. That means the record is not going to delete from the table. It is going to another table in which only the rejected customers are available, so that they can come back to the customers and they can call or they can mail you to give complete information. How many records are there for the each source system? Such reports also they are generating. How many records are processed from the each system? That record count is going to updated in this report. And this is one kind of report in which they are going to generate some profit ratios and loss ratios. It's my loss ratio report. So likewise, there are many reports are created. This is for the average sale. So So what is the total average credit cards I have sold in this particular quarter? Out of hundreds of reports, I am just giving some examples here. Some reports are generated for the risk analytic purposes. Okay, so this is my business objective. First of all, this is exactly output that I want. I want to see the reports, because management may not be technical side, or anybody may not be in the technical side. They want to see in such a way in the application, just by clicking on the report, they want to see all the result. That way they want to design. So to design this, I want the data that exists in the multiple OLTP systems. That's what I am doing. It is difficult to generate the data from directly from my OLTP system. What I am going to do, I'll create my single integration layer first. In the single integration layer, all the production copy is copied into one universal format. This is my database. All my single integration layer, TDS, ADS, semantic layer are existing in one product. So you can choose Oracle, or you can choose Teradata, Netezza, or SQL Server, or whatever you choose. This is one area in which single integration is created under one schema. TDS is created under one schema. ADS, semantic layer, they are all created under different schemas to easily access. Is that clear to everyone? Please write it on chat window at least. Or keep out. Is that clear? Yes. A wiper? Sorry, I can't remember. Wiper or wiper? Yes, correct. The use of ADS is for the aggregational data stores. Do you have some basic knowledge on the fact table, or did you ever heard? Okay, fact table. We have measured here. Say for example, I want to see total credit score are issued by particular branch. So I want to see only the count, not exact record. Record by record, I don't want to see. So record by record, if I want to see, I will come into TDS and I can see. But before moving into ADS, what they will do, they will apply count function. Count function group by branch. So what you can see in the ADS table, in the fact table, branch name and the number of credit cards are issued. Only the count. Here you have 1 lakh records, but here you have only one record. Is that clear, Ravi? Anybody having any doubts, any area in still or TDS or ADS or semantic layer? All ADS, TDS, SIL, semantic layer, everything exists in a single server. They are the database. They are RDBMS applications. Like Oracle, SQL Server, Teradata, Netezza, whatever. This environment is the data warehouse environment. This data warehouse is nothing but database only. So how to create the database? Using RDBMS application only, right? Is that clear? This is all one product. They are the different products. And again, reporting, it's one product. Okay. So with that architecture, we'll try to understand how they are going to develop in the different layers and what is our role and responsibilities in between. Now, to get the data between OLTP and SIL, they have created a job. Job created using what? It's a ETL tool, right? Yesterday we have discussed using ETL tool. They create a job. Using that job, they extract the data, they transform, and they load in the single integration layer. So ETL is involved here. In between, ETL job is involved. Again, if I want to access the data from single integration layer to TDS, I'll create ETL job. When I say I create, it is the responsibility of the developers. We are not going to create any jobs. And again, from TDS to ADS, I am going to create a job. Again, from ADS to semantic layer, I have different options actually. To create from ETL ADS to semantic layer, I can create stored procedures also. I can create PL if somebody has PLSQL, using PLSQL also, writing some functions, some procedures, some packages, they can move the data into semantic layer. Using that also I can do. And of course, using ETL jobs also I can load. So between OLTP system and single integration, data is correctly moved or not, we have to test. This is one phase for me. In the release 1, source to still is in the release 1 scope. In the release 1, I am going to test between source and single integration layer. Now this is my source system and single is my target system for the release 1 only. And the data is moving from SIL to TDS. This is the scope of release 2. Now SIL will be my source system and TDS is going to be my target system. From TDS again I am moving data to ADS in release 3. Now TDS will be my source system and ADS is going to be my target system. So likewise, ADS is going to be my source system and semantic layer is going to be my target. Is that clear? Please speak out. Navin, Navita. Prashant, right? Okay, Srinivas. Yes. Rishi, are you clear with these concepts?
Yes, Shiva, it is clear to me.
Okay. Please have some interaction. If I am continuously speaking like yesterday, I was speaking continuously, the session was disconnected. I was alone continuing. Okay, fine. In brief, I'll explain again. We have multiple OLTP systems. They are our source systems. From source systems, first of all, they are moving into single integration layer using ETL jobs. ETL jobs are designed in the ETL tools. ETL tools, something like Informatica, Ab initio, Data Stage, or BODS, some any other ETL tool they can use and they can load the data. Only tools are different and the process what they are doing is same. ETL process is going to remain same. Only the interfaces and the way they are loading is going to change. But ETL is going to remain same. And they are moving from single integration layer to TDS, which is transactional data stores. From transactional data stores, they are going into aggregational data stores. Aggregate, when I say, you can understand it is a fact table. Here we have multiple fact tables, and they are going to move into the semantic layer. It is specifically designed to get the reports, not to interrupt any one of these systems. Simply they will create a view here. From the view, they are going to access the reports. They can also do the job directly from OLTP system, from source to ADS also they can create, but the complexity is going to increase. There is nothing wrong in creating from directly OLTP system to ADS. There can be one job created which can take care of loading the data into SIL, loading the data into TDS, loading the data into ADS. But that is going to create more complexity. That's what they will segregate, and they'll create simple jobs. From the jobs, they can segregate the data and they can move into the particular subject area. It is going to be very easy. So now that is their responsibility. Loading the data from designing the jobs and loading the data, it's the developer responsibility using ETL tool, and the data is loaded in the database. We are going to test using multiple ETL testing techniques. There are some industry standard ETL testing techniques that we are going to discuss very soon, once we are comfortable with the data warehouse concepts and once we are comfortable with SQL mandatorily. SQL is mandatory. Please practice now. Once the job is completed, once the data is loaded, we are going to test it using SQL queries. Please listen carefully. We are not going to test using any one of the tool. We are going to write SQL scripts to test. People keep on asking which tool we are going to use. No, we are not going to use any one of the tools to test. We are simply going to write SQL scripts to validate the data between source and target. This is the basic understanding. If everybody understand it, please write it on chart window. Because going forward, I am not expecting some questions like which tool we are going to use, like can we automate something like that. I am not going to expect such questions. I assume everybody understands them. Okay, so in between we are going to write SQL scripts for the multiple ETL testing techniques, like file level validations, like count validation, reconciliation, field to field validations, duplicate validation, null validations, technical data quality rules, and SCDs, slowly changing dimensions. For all of them, we are going to write SQL scripts, and we will confirm source data is moved correctly to the target table. That is our whole and sole responsibility. Okay. We have to write SQL scripts, Ravi. If you are entering into core ETL testing, definitely you have to write SQL scripts. Maybe very less projects, they will go for the manual approach. They will compare the data in the Excel sheets. But that is not recommendable. We are going to test the data using SQL script, that is core ETL testing. If it is a manual approach, anybody can do it. They will provide the script, they will provide everything. You just keep the data in the Excel sheet, just write a simple formula and compare the data. Okay, such process, major 90% of the project they don't follow that process. Okay, we are going to learn in such a way what industry is following. Okay. Somebody speaking. Navika, are you there? I can't hear from you. Okay, fine. We are all so far discussing about how can we do file level validation. That we'll discuss later, Srinivas. Because we have not yet started ETL testing techniques, we are now in the objective. We are just learning why do we require, why do we, why do we require SQL scripts and everything. Just business objective we are learning so that we can understand and what to do from our end we can understand. Okay, we are in the initial stage only. Whatever I discussed, fact table, dimension table, in particular we are going to discuss. Particularly about a particular area we are going to discuss. Okay, fine. So now we are all discussing about the centralized repository. What is the centralized repository? It's a data warehouse. What is the data warehouse? Simply a database. Data warehouse means it's a database only. First of all, is that clear to everyone? It's a database only. Technically, data warehouse is not a product. Technically, database in which we are going to build the warehouse. So why do we build the warehouse? To keep our material. If somebody having less data, then they don't go for the data warehouse. They can simply have a simple room, a single room in which they can adjust everything. Let us say you have huge products, then what will you prefer? Simply you will prefer warehouse, right? It's a general terminology. Warehouse is a general terminology. There you are going to physically keep the products. Here we are going to keep the data. That is only difference. Okay. So this data warehouse has having some characteristics. There are some standard concepts about the data warehouse which you have to understand. Data warehouse is subject oriented. There are some standard concepts actually. They are done by the Ralph Kimball actually. If you want, you can refer his documents also. He's the founder of data warehouse actually. You can read his articles also. They are very good actually to understand the data warehouse concepts. So why do I have a subject oriented? Like we discussed, we have credit card, we have loans, we have mutual funds, everything. If together I am going to keep the data in one table, so what kind of problems we are going to have? Any guess? If I keep all the data, this is credit card, this is debit card, and this is mutual fund, this is insurance. If I am going to keep all the data in one particular area, then what will happen? What kind of issues we may face? You can speak out, please. Confusion it creates, yes. Or to retrieve the data. That is a long time to retrieval, yes. One more important thing. Yes, R2 long time to retrieval, they are also correct answer. And what is the main issue? Duplicates the data is also right. Srinivas. There is main concern. There is a main concern. These are also all the reasons, but there is a main concern actually. Security. Security is the main concern, right? Everybody cannot access all the data. Enterprise level data, do you think everybody can access? Only the management which are belongs to the particular area only can see the data. Others should not see. That's what they will keep the data in the different subjects. So my data warehouse is giving a flexibility to maintain the data as per the subject area wise. So credit cards data, debit cards data, I am going to maintain the data as per the subject area wise. So it gives my security, and as you all said, yes, it is easily to access. It will not take much time to access the data. Let us say I have 1 crore records, here 1 crore, total 4 crore records are present in one area, out of which I want to access only credit cards data. So unnecessarily I am working on all the rows and fetching appropriate row. Out of thousands of rows, out of crores of rows, I want to access some rows only. So it is not easily accessible, and it is not secured also. That's what I am creating as per the subject area. So what if I want to see the data, the customer existing credit card, the customer existing loan? Then it is again located in two different areas, right? When I say two different areas, two different tables. Data is always stored in the database in the form of table only. Whatever I say, fact table or dimension table or data mart or whatever I say, they must store in a table form only. There is no other way. Okay. So now I want to see the customer who exists in credit card, who exists in loans. But again, they are available in the two different subjects. Then what should I do? That's what now we have discussed. This is simply subject area where they are going to copy all of them. Now together they are going to create another one. This is also a subject area. Subject area means it is not like only credit cards and loans data is available in the different tables. When I have such requirements, I want to access the related data from the multiple system, and I keep it in a subject area. It is also possible. This is also a subject area. So usually we'll also call it as a data mart. In data mart, we are going to maintain subject area wise data. Subject area wise data means it's not only the module, 2-3 modules together also may have related data. That data also I can create in a single table. That is also a data mart. That is also a subject area. Now here they are given with the privileges. Who can see only this data? Who can see only this? You may ask the questions. Now it will have security issues, right? But only some privileged persons will have access to this area. Okay. So my data warehouse is subject oriented. My data warehouse is integrated. What do you mean by integrated? My data is having in the different technologies. Somebody is using ERP application. In the ERP application, I have credit cards related data. What manager level persons? What would you like to convey actually? Srinivas. Okay. So when I say ERP application, do you think ERP application can hold the data? Or also again they should have a database in backend? Usually when you see data warehouse architectures, they will simply mention ERP application, flat file, database, some different technologies they will mention. So do you think even a front-end application can hold the data, or in the backend will store the data? you don't answer, I'll simply go ahead. Okay, fine. Even ERP applications, if you are working with, they will have dedicated database for them also. They'll have database behind that. So all the data is available in the different applications will also have the backend database in which data is getting stored, not the front-end application. Front-end application never store the data. It is simply interacting between you and database. Okay. So different servers, different modules are available in the different servers. Now all of them should be available in one area. So if I want to make them available in one area, then I have to integrate them. Integrating means together I am bringing into one area. That is integrated. Using ETL tool, I am extracting all the data in the staging area. I am filtering the records. I am keeping in one area. Though they exist in the different servers, though they exist in the different technologies. That is integrated. It's time variant. Data warehouse is time variant. They are all correct characteristics, data warehouse characteristics, or you can say data warehouse concepts also. In interview, they will ask you, what do you know the data warehouse concepts and all? You can explain them. So what is the exact use of data warehouse? You can explain them, all this stuff. Time variant, one can maintain the data for a particular period of time. One can maintain the data for lifelong. Usually dates are going to be something like this in the data warehouse. I think Prashant is already seen because he already worked on the ETL testing side. Prashant, have you ever seen such dates in the data warehouse? So likewise, it's up to them how long they want to maintain the data. Somebody maintain for lifetime, somebody maintain for 100 years, somebody may maintain for 2199 also. It's completely based on the project. Majority of the projects are going to follow this process. Majority of the projects you can see this is the high end date. So even though you are a customer today to the bank, particular bank, you are going to cancel your account. Still they maintain your data because you are using a credit card and you are a defaulter, let us say, and they blocked your credit card. So you are no more using their services. But in future, after maybe 1 or 2 years, you are again applying a credit card. Your credit card application is going to be rejected. How can they reject your application? Because they already have your data. You are in the defaulter list. They will verify. Okay, this customer is already used my credit card. If he already used, whether he is a good customer or not, everything they will see. Everything they will see. And based on your behavior only, they will issue new credit card. For that, they should have complete history. Even customer is with you or not, they will maintain complete history. Is that clear? And somebody goes for the purging. Purging for a particular period of time. Let us say in the single integration layer, hope you remember single integration layer. So they are copying your production data. Single integration layer or persisting staging area, in which they are just copying the production data. Straight move. Here, my data, I have some data inserted on so and so date. They will give purging period for a particular period of time, let us say 1 month. That means after 1 month, 1st February, the data is completely removed. Remember, it is going to remove, not delete. delete, there is a lot of difference between delete and purging. Purging means it is completely removed from the database. Whereas if you perform delete, you can roll it back, right? But purging, you cannot. Is that clear to everyone? In interview, they may ask you purging or delete, what is the difference between them? If you're deleting, record is not available in the database, but the space allocated for this particular record is going to remain same. Let us say it is occupied 20 bytes. 20 bytes it is occupied. If you are deleting, record is deleted, only record is deleted, but the space allocated for this is not allocated to some other record. It's memory wastage. That's what they will purge it. When you purge it, record is removed permanently from the database and the memory is also reallocated, so that new record can occupy this space. So for a particular period of time, they can also purge. Time variant. So it is a justification of time variant. Somebody can maintain for a particular period of time, or if they want to delete the records, or if they want to purging, they can maintain for a particular period of time. It's a time variant. Non-volatile. So when I say non-volatile, once the data is entered into the data warehouse, you are not supposed to make any changes on the data. Instead of that, you have to insert a new record. And of course, some data warehouse projects are there in which they can also overwrite. But when you are properly populating a data warehouse, you are going to maintain a data completely for a lifetime or 100 years. Complete history you are going to maintain. Say for example, customer name, account number, transaction amount, transaction date, type of transaction, let us say. He is transferring 500 on 1st 2015. Type of transaction is deposited. He deposited this amount. From this deposit, he is going to withdraw some 100 rupees, let us say. So total how much money is remaining? 400. If you are going to overwrite this record such a way, will you get the bank statement? It's not possible, right, to get the bank statement. The record is correct. He withdrawn 100 rupees. So out of 500, 100 rupees is minus 400. The record is correct. Then what is the guarantee? Earlier he has 500 rupees. If customer may come back and say, I have deposited 5,000. Do you have answer for this? One thing, one of the issue. So everything should be tracked. Whether it is correct or wrong, everything should be correct. Sorry, everything should be tracked. That's what they will do. They will insert a new record. Instead of overwriting, they will insert a new record. Whatever the customer is doing, he withdrawn the amount on 1st or 5th. So I'll have another column, ledger balance. $500 yes. Now this column is having 400. Okay. So when you are entering the data into the data warehouse, they are not supposed to delete or update the existing record. Simply they have to maintain a new record so that they can track everything. Okay. So likewise, city customer was there in Hyderabad earlier. If he is moving to, say for example, some Chennai, so how can you track? The customer was already there in Hyderabad. You cannot track because there is no data. That's what they will maintain customer details, inserting a new record and having a date fields here. Effective start date, high end date. So customer is there in Hyderabad from 1/1/2015. So not sure when he will move to another city. So by default ETL high end date will be 9999/12/31 or whatever the date they have fixed. Now customer is moved to Chennai on 5th, let us say. So my earlier record is going to updated whatever the record we have in the ETL effective start date -1. So customer was there in Hyderabad till 4/1/2015. And again my second record is going to have a high end date. This is the default date. So that I can track, right? Customer was there in Hyderabad till this time and customer now is present in Chennai. I can track everything. This is a concept of SCD type 2 that we are going to discuss in detail in the coming session. And just giving an example, what is the importance of this non-volatile? I am not supposed to delete the record. Instead of that, I have to insert a new record. Just trying to explain that. This is a concept of SCD type 2. However, we will discuss in detail about this in the coming session. Is that clear to everyone? Ravi, yes. Rishi Verma, yes. Srinivas, yes. Prashant, please respond in chat window at least so that I can go ahead. Okay, fine. So now hope you understand all these source systems together integrated and are available in the data warehouse. Using ETL tool, in the ETL tool they are designing ETL jobs. Using them they are populating data warehouse. 1 minute please. Okay. So they are populating the data warehouse. Then we discussed about what is the data warehouse and what is the data warehouse characteristics. Now from them, can you outline what are the different advantages that we have using the data warehouse? Can you quickly write it on chat window or you can speak out? What are the advantages do we have by populating this data warehouse? So why are we doing all this hard work? Maintain history data, fine. Please let me know. I'll just unmute you if you want to speak out. Okay, fine. Did you understand what is the project objective? This is the main point, Ravi. The main purpose of populating data warehouse is to analyze the data. That's what I'm saying. It is a OLAP application. This is online transactional processing system. Source systems are Data warehouse is used for the analytical purposes, not for the transactional purposes. Remember that. That's what I'm saying. It's OLAP application. Lot of analyticals are going on from the data warehouse. For the business forecasting, just to improve their business, everything they will do in the data warehouse, from the data warehouse. This is offline data. This one is used by the customer or who is responsible to generate the record. They are using this system. They are not at all disturbing my data warehouse. From the data warehouse, the management is sitting, business intelligence people are sitting together and they are working on the business improvements. Lot of analyticals are going on. That's what you can see these days. Data warehouse projects are going on. So many data warehouse projects are going on because analyticals are more important for their business. Okay. No, Prashanta, we have not yet discussed them. Now just giving objective, what is the complete objective actually of the project? We'll discuss them. Fact tables, dimension tables and their tapes we will discuss. Maximum within 2 days we will complete theory. Then we can enter into practical work. I don't take much time on the theory. Of course, you can understand by reading the documents also. Anyways, I will discuss. We will complete in 2 days only. Okay, can I assume that okay everybody understand about the project objective and what is your role is going to be? I'm not asking how you will perform your role, but do you understand what is your role in that? Just understand your role, that's it. How to do that, I'll explain. In the coming session, we'll have technical discussions in which you can understand how to implement your SQL scripts and everything. But at least did you understand theoretically what is your role is going to be as a ETL tester? Sometimes, Ravi, it is not our responsibility actually report testing, but sometimes they may ask you to do that also. I'll give some scenarios on the reporting side. You can also put in your resume by, you perform report testing also. I'll give some scenarios on that. So can I take it as everybody understand? What is your role going to be as a ETL tester? If you respond quickly, I don't repeatedly ask these questions, such questions. Okay, great, Rishi. So please ping me your mail ID here so that I will share the topics that I am going to cover and the timings and the fee structure also. So if anybody is comfortable or interested, so that they can continue from tomorrow. Please ping your mail ID. I'll respond to only these mail IDs now. Everybody please. I'm going to share you the syllabus, what are the topics that I'm going to cover and the timings and the fee structure also I'm going to share on the mail ID. Rishi, yesterday there was some disturbance in the session. That's what I continued from today only. Yesterday there was a lot of disturbance. That's what I continue. I rescheduled it today. Only Rishi and Ravichandra responded. Someone I can see like Alpha 1.